guess now is as good a time as any.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the worst TV installments that nearly tarnished amazing shows.
Look, the Funny Boys on TV!
Number 50, Access, The West Wing.
Who's following breaking crime news for me?
Me, nothing coming in that suggests FBI involvement.
FBI.
He's just keeping Eric on his toes. Everybody get back to work. Go on.
Okay, hold on.
Now, to be fair, it'd be silly to call any episode of The West Wing outright bad. But, well, Access isn't exactly all that great either. Following the departure of creator Aaron Sorkin at the end of season 4, the show's 5th year struggled finding a way forward. And that's most symptomatic in this snoozer of an episode. While framing CJ's day-to-day life through the eyes of a documentary crew is a novel idea, in execution, it turns a sagging pace into a downright grating hour.
They signed the waivers.
Seeing you
They what?
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Wait a minute.
Good work. Thank you. Sure. Nice to meet you.
Director Arnold, this is Todd Shoemaker, and
For many, Access was the final red flag that the West Wing was running out of steam.
And C.J. Craig, who allowed us to share a day with her in the West Wing, remains the only woman to have served 2 terms as the White House press secretary.
Number 49, Mind's Eye, The Good Wife.
We're leaving now. Rest your voice. Don't take any calls. Matter of fact, let me take that.
I'm fine.
Yeah, no, you're not. I'm turning it off.
When you're cranking out around 22 episodes of high-stakes legal drama every single year, it makes sense that not every single one can push the story forward. But watching Alicia write a speech is certainly not the way Good Wife fans wanted to spend an hour. Her campaign for state's attorney already felt padded out. So, as amusing as it is to see Alicia's imagination run wild, it didn't save Mind's Eye from coming off as the worst kind of filler.
October 18th. That was the day Howard signed his partnership agreement. 2 weeks after I was evicted. Howard could not have been Diane's proxy because at the time he was still a partner of mine.
It's a weak episode in the middle of an already weak story arc, and left the impression that The Good Wife was ready for closing arguments.
Your voice sounds better.
I'm finding it.
Mrs. Flork, hello. We're ready for you.
I'm ready too.
Number 48, Dangerous Debt, Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
So those lives would be on you.
Says who?
That's just the way it is. You can't profit from other people's suffering.
After many long years, fans of the animated corner of the galaxy far, far away rejoiced at the thought of getting a proper ending. And then they watched Dangerous Debt. On paper, it's the action-packed culmination to the prison storyline that had taken up a quarter of the season. In actuality, it is a plotting affair that ends with Ahsoka right back where she started.
We live and learn, Rafa.
Yeah, but for how much longer?
Since the final season only ran for 12 episodes, many took issue with the episode's lack of meaningful plot progression. And that's without even mentioning its treatment of Ahsoka. Reducing one of the franchise's most popular characters to a whiny, underpowered teen didn't exactly inspire confidence in the series' ending.
Let her go! Make sure Rafa's okay! Trace!
Number 47, Finale, You.
My life doesn't boil down to before and after him. Every day that passes, he shrinks. Eventually, he'll just be some asshole I dated.
This ending hurts. Not just because it's a disappointing finale, but also because of how it completely nosedives in its last 5 minutes. Had You faded to black with Joe behind bars, it would have been a completely fine, if predictable, conclusion. But instead, it continues on with a cheesy narration that dumps the series' themes right in your lap. Then, in an almost laughable fourth wall break, Joe turns to the camera and blames us, the audience, for everything.
Maybe the problem isn't me. Maybe it's you.
Joe's in prison, but the show refuses to hold him accountable for any of his heinous acts. It's a final scene so awful and misguided, it retroactively sours your taste on the whole show.
My punishment is even worse than I imagined. The loneliness. Oh, my God. The loneliness.
Number 46, The Bard, The Twilight Zone.
What do they think I am, William Shakespeare?
It is deeply ironic that an episode featuring William Shakespeare is so poorly written. At the network's insistence, this episode of The Twilight Zone doubled its 30-minute runtime into a full hour, and the results are poorly paced and drawn-out stories.
I mean, like, I walk through the door, and, I see her. Why?
Why what, Rocky? What's the question?
Exactly. What is the question?
The worst of them, of course, is the Bard, which would feel underbaked even in a half-hour slot. A writer seeking help from Shakespeare is a fairly thin idea to begin with, and the show does not do anything particularly fun or creative with it either. Thankfully, The Twilight Zone is an anthology. So while The Bard is often ranked as one of its worst episodes, it didn't take too long for it to regain audience trust.
And if the tale just told seems a little tall, remember a thing called poetic license, and another thing called The Twilight Zone.
Number 45, Arnold betrays Iggy. Hey Arnold.
You gotta promise me you won't tell. I promise. I got a reputation. People think I'm cool.
The craziest part of this episode? It's all about bunny pajamas. To summarize, Arnold sees Iggy in embarrassing PJs. It leaks. Iggy wrongfully blames Arnold, who then seeks atonement by showing off his own bunny pajamas. Instead of presenting this misunderstanding as a learning experience, the whole world treats Arnold's bunny pajamas like it's the lowest point of humiliation possible. There's none of Hey Arnold's trademark wit or humor either. Instead, it's a surprisingly grim installment that makes everyone look mean, shallow, and insensitive. This is not the Hey Arnold people expected, and if it hadn't returned to its optimistic tone shortly after, the show's legacy would be very different.
Arnold, I am so sorry. Oh, it's you. I tried to call it off. I couldn't get through. I'm sorry.
Number 44, Bloodlines, Supernatural. One of the very worst episodes of Supernatural isn't really an episode of the show at all. If you tuned in expecting to see some good old-fashioned monster hunting, you were left sorely disappointed. Instead, Bloodlines is a backdoor pilot that rushes through generic plot points to establish a monster mafia? Yeah, we don't get it either.
There are 5 monster families that run Chicago? What is this, Godfather with fangs?
Well, if it is, I'm gonna need all the help I can get.
The spin-off didn't go forward, but the damage was done, with many hardcore fans now forever jaded on the idea of a Supernatural offshoot. This wasn't the last time the network tried to make a spin-off work, but at the very least, the parent show remained solid to the end.
My name is David Lassiter. I'm a shapeshifter.
You're what?
We shift our shape, and it's kind of all there in the name.
Number 43, Intimidation Game, Law & Order Special Victims Unit.
What the hell is your problem?
You and your boss. Reina Punjabi only got this feminazi game made by being a slut.
Really? Like I've never heard that before? You're one of those? Get out of here.
Staying relevant for over 25 years is no easy feat, and even a show as consistent as SVU can't bat 1,000. In season 16, the series tackled girl gamers, sexism, and cyber terrorism in one head-scratcher of an episode. The whole thing was more preachy than impactful, and felt insensitive to the actual issue at hand. Intimidation Game's surface-level commentary was so ill-advised, many critics were left wondering if SVU was finally starting to show its age.
And it's a game?
It's like a user hack of the game. But once they make that move, there's only one path you can go.
Which is what?
Kill or be slaughtered.
But thankfully, this episode turned out to be an exception, not a rule. While not flawless, it has since tackled modern dilemmas with a lot more nuance.
Reina, everything okay?
Let's go!
Hands on your head!
Number 42, The Future Perfect, American Horror Story.
And what about that? Well, this little program of yours has been going on for years now.
We all understood that the creation of an alien-human hybrid was a complex task.
Being an anthology, this show got a lot more chances than most do. But even with the knowledge they'd get a clean slate next season, several viewers found this finale too egregious to forgive.
YSP team here.
They've been promoted.
Not only is The Future Perfect far from ideal, it's not even passable. It fails to tie up loose ends from either half of the season, or really be an interesting episode of television at all. After years of diminishing returns, Double Feature's eye-rolling ending felt like the show's last straw. But the pull of an anthology is hard to resist. All it took was a buzzy new theme to get people coming right back for more.
Another perfect specimen.
Number 41, Nice to Meet You, Walden Schmidt, 2.5 Men.
But I think we can all agree that Charlie lived life to its fullest and gave it everything he had.
Gave me herpes.
Charlie Sheen's very public meltdown didn't just put his own career in question. It also took his hit show down to only 1.5 men. To replace him, the series introduced Walden Schmidt, played by none other than Ashton Kutcher.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was just trying to drown myself.
The initial responses were very mixed. While audiences gave some grace to Sheen's abrupt departure, Walden Schmidt was simply no Charlie Harper, and the show's overall quality suffered for it, at least for a bit. Eventually, 2.5 Men regained its footing and carved a niche for Kutcher's talents to shine. But still, a lot of people skip his introduction in their rewatch.
That's my dead brother.
Oh. I'm sorry I made you spill him.
That's okay.
Number 40, Slaves and Masters, Twin Peaks.
My invite back to Twin Peaks. Wyndham Earl. Direct orders from Gordon Cole. As he so succinctly put it, I'm worried about Coop!
Pressured by network executives and low ratings, the sophomore season of Twin Peaks was forced to do the one thing murder mystery shows hate: reveal the killer. Without Laura Palmer, the show felt like it had no idea where it was going. The biggest victim of this is Slaves and Masters. Rather than the dramatic finale to the Evelyn and James plot, Twin Peaks seemed like it was ticking boxes and spinning wheels.
Talk to me in a couple of years when your whole life has turned to crap.
You really like to make everything sound pointless and stupid, don't you?
Diehards and casuals alike consider it the absolute worst episode of the series. So whenever people discuss the series' incredible legacy, it's safe to say they mean every episode besides Slaves and Masters.
I shot him until he was dead.
Number 39, Malice in Wonderland, Charmed. After 7 seasons of witchcraft and sisterhood, the network decided to shake up the status quo with a new addition to the Hallowell Coven. Her name was Billy Jenkins, and that's kind of all you need to know. Instead of properly establishing Billy's role in the story, Charmed spends this episode mashing up Alice in Wonderland with Sex and the City. It'd be a head-scratcher at any point in the series, but it is especially glaring coming so soon after Billy's shoehorned introduction. This was the show's chance to prove Billy wasn't just a ratings ploy. But instead, all we got is a stark reminder of why this was Charmed's final season.
Well, show me the ropes. Teach me everything you know about witchcraft. Everything.
Forget it.
Number 38, One Course Meal, SpongeBob SquarePants.
Daddy! Call off your daughter, Krabs! Call her off!
Gross, uncomfortable, and mean-spirited are not things you usually hear associated with the guy who lives in a pineapple under the sea. Sadly, One Course Meal is a full serving of SpongeBob's worst qualities all wrapped into one 12-minute segment. When Mr. Krabs discovers Plankton's fear of whales, he proceeds to torment his rival in every despicable way imaginable. It is not funny and it is not entertaining. It's just cruel.
I'll just be tortured for the rest of my life by that whale. That's it, I'm done. The 4:15 bus should be along any time now.
At a certain point, you can't help but wonder what the intent of this episode even was. Given how extremely out of place it feels, the vast majority of the community look at One Course Meal as the official end of SpongeBob's golden era.
You mean this entire time it's been Krabs masquerading as a whale? Why the conniving bottom feeder?
Number 37, Years, Continents, Bloodshed, Veronica Mars.
I'm a civil servant. It's your call.
Let's go for it.
I'm nothing if not traditional.
Inches away from the finish line, Neptune's best detective was faced with the one case no one can solve: a bad ending. Coming in 12 years after the series cancellation and 5 after the reunion film, this revival gave Veronica Mars a chance at the ending it deserved. And what did it do with it? Blow up Logan in the final minutes, robbing Veronica of her overdue happy ending.
Logan!
It wouldn't have stung so bad if there were another season, or if this ending hadn't been literal years in the making. For longtime fans, it felt like Veronica Mars had wasted its legacy on a cliffhanger that would never be resolved.
Blows that would destroy most people. She always picks herself back up.
Number 36, Cyberwoman, Torchwood.
It's not possible. One of them survived.
There's a place for weird one-off episodes in any TV show. 4 weeks into your first season is not exactly the place for them, though. At a time when Torchwood was still proving itself to its audience, it delivered a story about a half-android woman who goes all Terminator on the team. Sounds cool enough, right? However, its execution leaves a lot to be desired. Saddled by the tight budgetary restraints of a weekly television program, these cheap production values definitely did not convince any naysayers to stick around. On the bright side, those that did were treated to a generation-defining sci-fi hit.
Can you understand that, Jack? Haven't you ever loved anyone?
Number 35, Life of Brian, Family Guy.
Brian, look out!
You never kill the dog. It's basically the cardinal rule of storytelling. But that did not stop Family Guy from putting Brian 6 feet deep in a true shocker of an episode. The backlash came from far and wide, with many finding the dark twist at odds with the show's comedic roots. Of course, Brian's death didn't actually stick, and he miraculously returned a few episodes later.
Yes, but luckily I ran into another me from the past, so I stole his return pad and came back here. Oh, that reminds me, I've got to send this back where it came from.
But that just made fans angrier. They felt Brian had only been killed off for shock value, and were none too pleased at being taken advantage of. Even years later, Family Guy has still yet to fully recover from the bad publicity.
Well, you gave me the greatest gift of all. I'll tell you about it sometime. Brian, are we pregnant? What? No, Stewie, it's nothing like that.
Number 34, Welcome Aboard, The Brady Bunch. In one of the most blatant ratings ploys in television history, the Brady family got a very unwelcome house guest in the second half of their final season. His name? Cousin Oliver. Since the original kids were growing up, the producers wanted another child to keep up the youthful energy. But instead of freshening up the formula, Cousin Oliver underlined how stale the Brady Bunch had become.
Think you got the hang of it now, Greg?
His mischievous stick got old before the first commercial break. And to make matters worse, he ate up the screen time of characters people actually wanted to watch. By alienating old fans and annoying new ones, Cousin Oliver's introduction is commonly seen as the point of no return for the Brady Bunch.
Anyway, I really like it here. It's super. Night.
Night, honey.
Number 33, Till Death Do Us Part, Pretty Little Liars.
Well, you missed breakfast, but Mum's planning a special lunch.
Everyone loves a good plot twist. Pretty Little Liars understood the assignment and kept the reveals coming for 7 seasons of soapy goodness. And then the finale came and it fell flat on its face. After 7 years and over 150 episodes, the final trick under Pretty Little Liars' sleeve was an evil British twin.
You see, I've been dying to meet you.
We wish we were joking, but that's really what happens. To say people were let down would be the understatement of the century. Mysteries are only as good as their payoff. And with such a disappointing resolution, longtime viewers wondered whether the journey had even been worth it.
Sorry, I've got to go get ready. Hey, how are you planning on wearing your hair for the wedding?
Number 32, Our First Day of School, Scrubs.
They tore down the old crappy hospital and rebuilt it on the med school campus. I'm just back to teach some classes. First, though, I need to do my morning good luck ritual.
Cease compressions. Time of death, May 6th, 2009. With the aptly named two-parter My Finale, Scrubs had finally passed on to the graveyard of great sitcoms. Or at least it should have. Unwilling to let the hit show go with dignity, the powers that be demanded a 9th season. What they got instead was a head-scratching reboot of sorts that most fans choose to forget.
But he's coming back? No. After his vacation? No.
Half the main cast didn't return, and the ones that did were pushed to the side in favor of new, less interesting characters. As early as this first episode, it was clear this was nothing but a cash grab on Scrubs' legacy. Nowadays, most fans agree the show ended with season 8.
If you do make me cry, it won't be a big deal, because I lied. I cry all
Oh, good God.
Number 31, Hollywood Part 3, Happy Days.
But you get your legs bit off by that shark. Don't you come running to me.
Ever heard the phrase, jumping the shark? Yeah, well, that started here. Once a beloved sitcom about family and adolescence, waning appeal over the years had Happy Days writers scrambling for any way to draw viewership. Unfortunately for everyone, they landed on the idea of having Fonzie water ski over a literal shark. It's a moment so wildly insane, you cannot help but think, is this still supposed to be Happy Days? There wasn't a single person pleased with this bizarre episode. In fact, it was so universally despised, the term jumping the shark became synonymous with TV episodes that go off the deep end. It is probably not the legacy Happy Days hoped for.
But what did you really win? Aw, come on, Red. How often does a guy like me get the bump off a guy like that?
Number 30, A Journey to the Highlands, Downton Abbey. The Crawleys take a trip to Scotland and visit Donegal Estate. During the family trip, Mary goes into labor and returns to the Abbey to give birth to the young George Matthew Crawley.
Can this hot and dusty traveller come in?
Say hello to your son and heir.
Matthew comes to visit Mary and meet his newborn son. It's a moment of joy for both parents as George will be the heir to the family estate. However, the moment of happiness is fleeting as shortly after Matthew leaves the hospital, he's involved in a car wreck and is killed.
We don't always get our just desserts.
His sudden death was strongly disliked by many fans as it quickly followed the death of Lady Sybil Branson. Number 29, everyone knows it's Bendy, Foster's home for imaginary friends. Bendy arrives in the Foster's home and immediately he causes trouble. The problem for Blue and the gang is that Mr. Harriman and Frankie take Bendy's side every single time.
You guys, how could you?
But he totally did it!
Oh, blaming this poor innocent, just after he was falsely accused by his own family and abandoned forthwith. Oh, for shame.
Bendy is mean for no reason. He's shown countless times getting the other imaginary friends into trouble, even though they've done nothing to him. It also doesn't help that he's whiny and manipulative, as any time he's called out for his actions, he feigns innocence.
Me? But I would never. I mean, oh gosh. Oh no. Why does this keep happening to me?
It's a shtick that becomes tired really fast, and we're left with a one-note character that adds nothing interesting to the show. Number 28, Pilot, Parks and Recreation. For many, the first season of this popular sitcom is a no-go. Things don't get off to a great start with the series' first episode.
You know, I like to tell people, get on board and buckle up because my ride's gonna be a big one. And if you get motion sickness, put your head between your knees because Leslie Knope's stopping for no one.
In it, we're introduced to Leslie Knope and Company along with the town of Pawnee, Indiana. When it initially aired, the show was criticized for being too similar to The Office, and the character of Knope too much like Michael Scott, while some found her to be unlikable.
Often we have to cover up the more gruesome parts with a poster.
That is horrifying.
Yes, it is.
Even with all that said, there was still potential to prosper, which turned out to be the case as by season 2, things started to come together. Number 27, The Timeless Children, Doctor Who. Plot twists, if done well, can lead to shock and awe as they can make us reevaluate everything we've learned about a character or situation.
Oh, Doctor, really? Haven't you worked this out yet? The child is you.
For many fans of Doctor Who, however, this reveal was completely forced and unnecessary. Instead of the Doctor being a Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey, the Doctor is an otherworldly being of unknown origin who had their memories erased.
You are the timeless child.
No, I'm not.
You always have been.
Some felt that this explanation ruined the mystery of the Doctor, while others felt that this retcon undermined the history of the show and the Doctor's character development. Number 26, Song Beneath the Song, Grey's Anatomy. Musical episodes can be tricky. When done right, you end up with Buffy's Once More with Feeling. When done wrong, you end up with this episode from Grey's Anatomy.
Would you lie with me?
Too many people, get out!
Many fans found the tonal shift to be jarring, as the show is primarily a medical drama and the idea of a musical just doesn't fit. Even co-star Patrick Dempsey thought the episode was a, quote, big mistake. Fans also took issue with the fact that the majority of the cast can't really sing.
Running on sunshine. Ain't no clouds getting in my way.
It did get praise for taking a chance and trying something new, but for many, this died on the operating table. Number 25, The Day Will Come When You Won't Be, The Walking Dead. Jeffrey Dean Morgan's portrayal of Negan was widely praised, but it wasn't enough to save this episode from the scorn of critics and fans alike.
Well, look at that. Dawn is breaking. It's a brand new day, Rick.
Things were already off to a rough start, as many people were unhappy with the Season 6 finale Last Day on Earth, as it had slow pacing and ended with an unsatisfactory cliffhanger. The violence found in the Season 7 premiere was viewed as brutal and gratuitous, with fans finding the way characters Abraham and Glenn were killed to be way over the top.
I'm a man of my word. First impressions are important. I need you to know me.
Number 24, Saturday Morning Fun Pit, Futurama. Anthology episodes have become a staple of this sci-fi comedy, but this collection of Saturday morning cartoon parodies fell flat for many.
It's time to fall into the Futurama and Friends Saturday Morning Fun Pit! Here comes Bendy, Boo, and the Mystery Crew!
The majority of jokes just didn't land, while others felt the parodies themselves were worn out and tired. Other shows have spoofed Scooby-Doo and made the same jokes about reusing animation, shoehorned guest stars, the laugh track, and flimsy plot.
It all makes sense! He knew that if he scared the Globetrotters away from the big basketball game, disappointed fans would flock to his kabuki theater.
Of course!
Some also felt that this episode detracts from the humor derived from the characters and clever writing found in regular episodes. Number 23, Fartbook, Letterkenny. Known for its rapid-paced delivery and wordplay, this Canadian comedy has endeared itself to many. Unfortunately for fans of this series, all of that goes out the window with this episode centered around farts.
So any other insights for us?
It should be painfully obvious from the title, but the Hicks come up with a social media network based on one's flatulence. The whole thing becomes a never-ending fart joke that most just can't get into.
When we see you've been liking all this Duster's farts on Fartbook, none of this beauty's farts. And not one of this grain-fed, USDA-certified, 100% non-animal tested, organic beauty.
While there are some funny moments as it parodies The Social Network, you're not missing much if you decide to skip this one. Number 22, Frank's Brother, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The best part about this episode is Lance Reddick's performance, but unfortunately for It's Always Sunny fans, it's not enough to save it from the hate it gets.
I guess that don't leave me with no choice but to be a mature-ass adult about this shit.
The episode takes place in the past and recounts how Frank opens a nightclub along with his older brother, and they compete for the love of the same woman. While there are a good number of gags present throughout, fans have taken exception to the fact that it doesn't involve the gang all that much, and doesn't follow the setup of a conventional episode for the series.
Why?
You were gone! I was here!
Number 21, Rick Dependence Spray, Rick and Morty. If there's a fine line between good and bad taste, for fans and critics of Rick and Morty, this episode is right up against it, if not outright crossing it.
Morty, you nasty, lying little world-ending pervert.
I'm sorry.
What was it like?
Fantastic.
We're off to a gross start as Morty's genetic material unknowingly is transformed into giant monstrosities by Rick. They begin to terrorize the planet, and a plan is hatched to lure the sperm into a trap using one of Summer's eggs. A sperm manages to enter the egg, thereby meaning Morty and Summer technically have a child together.
Sticky, it's all you, bud. Sticky!
This fact was too much for many watching, and people started to question the direction of the show. Number 20, Tea Leaves, Mad Men. This 5th season installment focuses heavily, no pun intended, on Betty Draper, and marked Jon Hamm's directorial debut. Unfortunately, having Don Draper himself at the helm cannot save this episode from a questionable leap into high melodrama.
I've put on a few pounds, and I haven't had much luck reducing on my own for some reason.
Betty's cancer diagnosis would end up paying emotional dividends in the final season, but the story's rushed pacing here robs it of its emotional heft.
Betty Draper, I almost didn't recognize you. Joyce, hello, how are you?
Even worse, January Jones' real-life pregnancy gives birth to Fat Betty, regarded by many as one of the show's worst character arcs. Although the B-plot involving Dawn trying to recruit the Rolling Stones for a Heinz commercial is a highlight, it's not enough to save this from being one of Mad Men's more disappointing outings.
You really think you're gonna get the Rolling Stones to do a TV ad?
They did one for cereal in England.
Number 19, the one in Barbados, Friends. The finale of Friends' 9th season. This two-parter is the point at which some critics and fans believe the show was starting to run out of ideas.
I had to pull some strings, but I was able to get everyone passes to the entire conference. That's right.
The episodes feature not just a love triangle between Phoebe and her suitors Mike and David, but also a love rectangle between Ross, Rachel, Joey, and Charlie. Although the former is arguably more interesting.
Oh my God, Mike.
It's David, actually.
The latter is a major focus of both episodes, culminating in Rachel and Joey starting a relationship, one that was destined to be brief due to the characters' limited chemistry. And yet, it has slightly more mileage than all the jokes about Monica's hair, albeit barely.
All right, I don't want to alarm anybody, but Monica's hair is twice as big as it was when we landed.
Number 18, Shades of Grey, Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Prognosis.
The infection is spreading. It will eventually reach the brain.
This beloved sci-fi series had a few weak outings over its 7 seasons, which makes this season 2 dud stand out even more. After contracting a deadly virus, Commander Riker is put in a machine that causes him to dream about past events aboard the Enterprise. This framing device was used primarily to cut costs, as the show had run out of money near the end of the season.
He's relaxed, experiencing feelings of warmth and friendship.
Even by clip show standards, this is a painful hour of television. Making matters worse, the series only had 2 seasons worth of episodes to mine for clips at the time. Thankfully, this was the first and last time The Next Generation attempted a flashback episode.
Recognize Picard, Jean-Luc, Captain. Recognize Riker, William T, Commander.
Number 17, Chapter 54, Jane the Virgin. Taken on its own terms, this mid-season finale is an excellent piece of television.
He's not breathing.
Call 911.
Driven by the shocking death of Michael Cordero, this is a tragic, heartfelt episode that forever changed the series. Unfortunately, it didn't necessarily change it for the better. While received positively at the time, Chapter 54 is pointed to by some as the episode that killed the series, or at least marked a decline in quality. The sudden 3-year time jump at the end of the episode was bad enough, as it glossed over the emotional fallout of Michael's death. But bringing Michael back from the dead the very next season retroactively made the twist pointless. Talk about a cop-out.
Surprise!
Number 16, Into That Good Night, Roseanne. Long before the Connor family's ill-fated revival in 2018, Roseanne fans witnessed a different kind of train wreck in the form of this late 90s series finale.
One at a time. You people are scary enough individually.
Oh, we just want to see the baby, Roseanne.
The 9th season of this once-beloved show was panned by critics and fans alike due to an unbelievable storyline that saw the Connors win the lottery.
They won the lottery!
And a shocking reveal in the 2-part finale. After a series of increasingly bizarre adventures, the finale undid it all by revealing that the Connors never were millionaires.
He's still the first thing I think about when I wake up, and the last thing I think about before I go to sleep. I miss him.
It was all a dream of Roseanne's, a fictional world to help cope with the sudden death of her husband. While a bold storytelling choice, loyal viewers weren't exactly happy that the show had wasted their time with a season of off-brand weirdness before being told none of it actually mattered.
As I wrote about my life, I relived it, and whatever I didn't like, I rearranged.
Number 15, Return to Camelot Part 1, Dallas.
Honey, what's the matter?
The mother of all soap opera twists, nothing in television history quite matches the historic backlash of the Dream season. You heard that right, season. While fans around the world mourned Bobby's death, surely there was a better way to bring him back than retconning an entire year of television. It's even worse when you realize Bobby's resurrection was supposed to be a coup d'etat for Dallas, but instead, it made most viewers throw their hands up for good.
And then we took you to the hospital and you died.
Hey. Pam, I'm right here. And I'm fine.
Hand-waving the entire 9th season frustrated diehards, confused newbies, and almost ruined the legacy of what is otherwise a classic television program. Return to Camelot isn't a dream, it's a nightmare.
I was so Oh, I love you so much.
Honey, it's over.
Number 14, A Million Little Fibers, South Park. Trey Parker and Matt Stone's foul-mouthed animated series has maintained a high level of quality for over 2 decades.
The new waiter is useless, and I think he's high.
How spicy would you like your chang sauce?
But around the 10th season, there was some cause for concern that the show had lost a step. This episode, which sees Cowley write a memoir and go on Oprah, is arguably South Park at its worst.
You have been through so much, and I think that people all over America could benefit.
God, there she goes again, babbling about people's lives and carrying on.
It's an absurd setup that leads to the shocking visual of Oprah's genitalia taking hostages at gunpoint. While it's pretty incredible this episode actually made it to air, the humor just doesn't work and isn't up to the show's high standard. Even the show's creators have admitted it's bad, with Stone saying he would, quote, erase that one if he could. On that, we can agree.
This whole thing was my fault. I learned that I shouldn't get high to come up with ideas.
Number 13, The Lost Sister, Stranger Things. Pacing is critical to a good story, and when a TV series suddenly grinds to a halt, audiences notice.
I'm looking for my sister.
Oh, Shirley Temple lost her sister. So sad.
Taken on its own terms, this 11-focused episode deserves some credit for taking a storytelling risk. Unfortunately, Elle's trip to Chicago to hang with a group of misfits doesn't lead to the kind of character growth you would expect. She returns to Hawkins, Indiana the very next episode, and the only thing that's really changed about her is her hairstyle. Although, to be fair, it's a really cool hairstyle.
Bitchin'. Bitchin'.
Even worse, this episode takes us away from the action in Hawkins right as it's heating up for a final act showdown. All in all, it feels more like an intrusive diversion than an important moment of character growth.
The bad men were trying to take your way again, and that made you angry. Good. So find that anger.
Number 12, Last Days of Summer, Friday Night Lights. Following up a critically acclaimed first season can be tough for any show, and Friday Night Lights certainly fumbled the ball with its second season premiere, Last Days of Summer.
Honey? I think my water just broke.
While it does a nice job showing the fallout from the events of the previous season, things go wrong for a lot of characters, particularly Tyra and Landry, whose altercation with Tyra's stalker leads to the stalker's body going in the river.
Tyra, we can't. We can't.
What else are we gonna do?
This in particular set off a season-long investigation arc, which feels inconsistent with what the show had been, and what it would go on to become.
I'm glad he's dead.
Number 11, The Great Divide, Avatar, The Last Airbender. Avatar saw mercifully few duds over its 3-year run, but this one stands out as the worst of the bunch.
These people are fleeing the Fire Nation, aren't they? Gotta make sure we can't be followed.
The plot sees Aang and company decide to help 2 bickering rival clans migrate through a canyon. Most of the runtime is devoted to arguments, both among the feuding groups and within the group of heroes. In the end, Aang resolves the clan's differences by lying to them, a decision that really doesn't match his character, and acts as a really weird message to end on.
That's some luck you knew Jin Wei and Wei Jin.
You could call it luck, or you could call it lying.
Overall, The Great Divide adds little to the plot or the characters, making it an easy one to skip.
I suppose it's time we forget the past.
And look to the future.
Number 10, The Puerto Rican Day, Seinfeld. This show about nothing was one of the most influential TV series of the 90s, and many were shocked when creators Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David decided to end it after 9 seasons.
I'm into this Puerto Rican thing. The sights, the sounds, the hot, spicy flavor of it all. It's caliente!
While the series finale is still regarded by some as a major disappointment, an earlier episode in the season proved just as controversial. Many Puerto Ricans were offended by the episode's subject matter, which generally cast Puerto Ricans in a negative light. And Kramer's accidental burning of their flag didn't help matters.
There's a guy burning the Puerto Rican flag! Who? Who is burning the flag?
NBC was flooded with angry letters, prompting the network to issue a formal apology. Even setting aside the controversy, the episode isn't very memorable, and makes a strong case for Seinfeld calling it quits when it did.
Maybe we should stump you, like you stumped the flag. What do you think of that?
Number 9. Black Market, Battlestar Galactica. This reimagined space opera series incorporated a lot of different genres, but this episode featured one that it did not pull off well: noir.
What are you doing here?
I was about to ask you the same thing.
The episode sees Lee Apollo Adama investigating a black market that has somehow sprung up in a fleet with a population smaller than an average city. Besides the glut of plot holes and narrative conveniences, trying to turn Galactica's resident heroic pilot into a gritty detective for an episode just didn't fly.
Our people will do whatever it takes to get this under control. And it's good to have you back, Madam President.
Noir in space can work, but it doesn't work here. Even series creator Ronald D. Moore has called Black Market a disappointment, but at least he could admit when they fracked up.
There's lines you can't cross, and you've crossed them.
Number 8. Freefall, ER.
She made me use the other thing.
It's from Germany.
Any show on the air for 15 years is bound to have at least one bad episode, and Freefall is one of ER's worst. The crux of the episode's awfulness lies in the departure of Dr. Robert Romano. A generally unpleasant man,
Yeah, get your ass back inside, sit down and admit, and do not move until I come get you.
Romano did have other sides to him, and had even received something of a karmic punishment when he lost his arm to a helicopter blade. His death, however, is just cruel and unusual. How does it happen? Why, a helicopter crashes on top of him, of course. The writers had already made the character two-dimensional by the end of his run, but did they have to make his death just as cartoonish?
Want a coffee? Not in the club. I got an extra. Thanks.
Number 7. Intro to Felt Surrogacy, Community. Season 4 was a rough one for Community all around, and this episode is arguably the low point of a year full of less than stellar outings.
Now, I don't know what happened, but we have to get to the bottom of this.
Intro to Felt Surrogacy shows the study group lost in the woods, during which they eat some berries that make them hallucinate that they're all puppets and swap secrets with each other.
Truth is, I've never voted except when I watch The Voice.
While Community is known for its stunt episodes and surreal moments, usually they're in service of the story or characters. But that's just not the case for this bizarre trip of an episode.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle anybody.
Number 6. Stranger in a Strange Land, Lost.
You're not from around here, are you?
Although it was a polarizing show overall, Lost definitely hit a slump during its 3rd season. Some point to Expose, an episode that killed off 2 fan-despised characters as the show's low point. But many are of the opinion that this episode is much worse.
There will be consequences, Jack.
The flashback focuses on how Jack got his tattoos, while the island storyline focuses on Kate and Sawyer's return to camp, and Jack and Juliet's tenuous position among the others. The episode also answers some questions, like what happened to the people the others kidnapped, while also raising some more.
So, I was hoping you may help me clear up a few of the inconsistencies.
Ultimately, Stranger feels like filler, which on a show this serialized can really kill the momentum. Number 5. Beer Bad, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Ice water. Nothing on the rocks?
High schoolers and the shows that depict them have difficulty transitioning to college, and Buffy was no exception. The Beer Bad episode depicts our heroine drowning her sorrows in beer after being used for sex by a jerk of a guy.
Smelly head.
However, some magic juju in the beer turns her and her drinking pals into cave people. Although elements of the series' trademark wit and humor are present in the episode, they're a bit overshadowed by the ham-handed warning against drinking and casual sex, as well as the literal dumbing down of the protagonist.
Boys smell nice.
In short, beer bad, bad. Number 4. Remember the monsters? Dexter. Showtime's serial killer drama had been in decline since Season 4's Trinity Killer arc, but nothing prepared viewers for this train wreck of a series finale. A truly awful hour of television, this episode retroactively undoes seasons worth of character growth in one fell swoop. Dexter's mercy killing of his sister Deb would have been bad enough on its own, as she deserved so much better. But it gets so much worse.
Hi, Harrison. I just wanted to tell you one last time that I love you.
After driving his boat into a hurricane, Dexter is presumed dead. In reality, he's alive and well, living out his days as a lumberjack. While there's surely someone out there who liked this ambiguous ending, it's clear the writers didn't have any better ideas for how to put this show out of its misery. Number 3. The Principal and the Pauper. The Simpsons.
7 o'clock Friday night, Mother. Time for our weekly silhouette.
In this episode, Principal Seymour Skinner is revealed to be an imposter, who took the name of one of his comrades who never came home from Vietnam.
Up yours, children.
Revealing a long-established character as being someone else can work when done well, but the fact that the town decides to pretend they never learned this info by the episode's end not only rendered any impact it might have had moot, it also made fans and critics feel betrayed, and like the whole thing was pointless.
Everybody look! Herman Tamzarian's back! And he's gonna take over the school again!
Many staffers have called the episode a mistake, but its writer Ken Keeler has claimed it was meant to provoke and satirize fan outrage. Intent aside, the execution had everyone saying, "Dope!"
Well, from now on, you're gonna see a new Seymour Skinner.
Oh no, we won't!
Yes, Mother.
Number 2. Unbowed, Unbent, Unbroken. Game of Thrones. Everyone knows Game of Thrones lost its way in the final season, but it hit a low point earlier in the show's run with this controversial 5th season dud.
What do you want?
Lord Ramsay sent me to draw your bath, my lady. Oh, you want to be clean and fresh for your new husband, don't you?
By this stage, the series had nearly run out of source material and was diverging further away from George R.R. Martin's books.
Lying to your husband on his wedding night. That would be a bad way to start a marriage.
One of the more questionable changes happens here, as Sansa Stark is forced to marry the sadistic Ramsay Bolton and endure his cruelty. As far as hours of television go, both The Bells and The Iron Throne may be worse, but with Unbowed, Unbent, Unbroken, Game of Thrones stopped being prestige TV. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Last Forever. How I Met Your Mother.
Robin, it's been a major pleasure. Major pleasure.
Few series finales have insulted fans or come as close to ruining the show as a whole quite like this one. Last Forever features the unceremonious off-screen death of the mother Tracy, as well as the divorce of Barney and Robin, whose marriage had been the focus of the entire final season.
If it wasn't going to happen with Robin, then it's just not going to happen with anyone.
Both developments were necessary for the final nail in the coffin, getting future Ted together with future Robin, an outcome the creators reportedly decided on halfway through the show. For an episode whose message was that things change, its writers seemed blind to the fact that the show had moved on from Ted and Robin's relationship. For the better.
Let's look at the facts here. You made us sit down and listen to the story about how you met Mom, yet Mom is hardly in the story. No. This is a story about how you're totally in love with Aunt Robin.
What episode ruined your favorite TV show? Let us know in the comments below.